Dr. Lee is suing Jon Taffer. Here's why. Hey guys, welcome back to Screen Orb. Today we'll talk about why Dr. Lee is suing Jon Taffer. Let's head into it. Is bar rescue fake? Lawsuit says so. While Jon Taffer always claims that bar rescue is real and nothing is ever scripted, most people who watch the show feel otherwise. Yesterday, a lawsuit was filed by Dr. Lee against Bongo LLC, a bar rescue production company. Jon Taffer and his wife Nicole Taffer. Paul was an owner of the Sand Dollar in Las Vegas, which was on season 3 of the show and renamed to Bar 702. You may remember the episode titled as Don't Mess with Taffer's Wife, where Jon gets mad at Paul was hitting on his wife. The full lawsuit is here from Deadline, but here are some of the highlights that give a lot of insight into the bar rescue process. Casting. The casting company told Dr. Lee that the show was looking at 40 bars in the Las Vegas area that were under consideration for the show. They said those who displayed the most outlandish behavior would be considered the most television worthy, and would be chosen for the next phase of the selection process. The next phase would be a few people from the company coming to film audition tapes to get a feel of how they would be on camera. During the filming of the audition tape, Dr. Lee was instructed to talk his friends in a natural way as if no cameras were present. He remembered the outlandish behavior being part of the selection process, so he's talked about some Vegas strip clubs with his friends. After the audition tape was filmed, the casting company approached the production company about making an episode that focused on a dirty doctor who picks up on strippers. The production company then sent a single cameraman for another audition tape, where they then interviewed bar employees including Dr. Lee, and asked questions like what he thought of Jon Taffer, the way he dressed, and how he gets in people's faces. Closer to the filming date, producers told Dr. Lee that he was one of 3 bars under consideration for being selected, and that they would be filmed with the videos sent to Jon Taffer, who would select the bar chosen to be rescued. When filming Dr. Lee at the bar, Dr. Lee was doing push-ups against the bar and was dancing around. Producers were unsatisfied with the level of extremity, so told him to make disreputable comments to women in the bar. In a later interview before the show, the producers said that in order to get the show, Dr. Lee had to make offensive comments about women. He was assured that the comments would be seen by the public, and Jon Taffer would be the only one seeing them. The producer asked graphic questions about women's parts, and when Dr. Lee's responses weren't graphic enough, the producer coached him to make his responses more graphic, and to say it like this. Producers told Dr. Lee that Nicole Taffer would be coming into the bar to help with the casting tapes, and when she arrived with a friend, the producers texted Dr. Lee to stay away until they gave him a cue to approach them. When he got the cue, he approached and talked to them, while the producers watched from a control room. The producers weren't satisfied, so texted Dr. Lee, "Hit on Mrs. Taffer hardcore." While watching the scene from an SUV, Jon Taffer allegedly called the control room to tell them to have a drink near the spot where he intended to confront Dr. Wilkes, so he could throw it in his face. He allegedly said to a colleague, "Now I'm going to show you why my show is #1. Dr. Lee then claimed that Jon Taffer came in to comfort him, showed him footage of the audition tapes where he insulted the way Jon dressed. Jon then grabbed a drink in his hand, threw it in his face, and smashed the cup in his face. Jon then spit in his face and tore off his shirt so violently that buttons ripped off his shirt. Jon then picked up the second drink that was planted and threw it in Dr. Lee's face. After that, Jon swung at Dr. Lee's head with his electronic tablet and turned towards his coat. Dr. Lee thought he was going for a weapon, so he tried to restrain him and punched his left jaw by Jon Taffer. Jon Taffer began hyperventilating and collapsed on the floor, and the entire attack was caught on camera. As a result of this attack, Dr. Lee suffers from emotional distress and things such as migraines, nausea, vomiting, night terrors, crying spells, severe depression, and anxiety attacks. The confrontation. The confrontation is in the episode is nothing like the confrontation that Dr. Lee describes, so obviously there are some holes in the lawsuit. If his initial story was true, I am not sure why they would film a different confrontation between him and Jon. If the drink throwing and punching occurred, why would Dr. Lee agree to a confrontation and agree to film for an additional 4 days with Jon? I think the most interesting part of the lawsuit is how much auditioning and filming they actually do before selecting a bar to be on the show. Jon Taffer repeatedly claims nothing is scripted, but the bars are definitely getting coached to be obnoxious so they can get selected. And the producers usually have a storyline in mind before they start filming. Sounds like I may have been right on the target with O-Face's video story. What do you think about the lawsuit? Let us know in the comments below. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.